So unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, I'm sure you've heard about the James Gunn situation. As I'm sure you know, some, shall we say, questionable tweets from a few years ago were uncovered on Gunn's Twitter account. We'll get into that in a minute. First, let's do some historical digging here. I had intended to make a video on the whole Roseanne controversy a few months back, but just didn't have the time. Roseanne made an inexcusably racist tweet against former Barack Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. While calling everyone a racist is one of the left's main MOs, there can be no defense for this tweet. But I thought the knee-jerk reaction of canceling Roseanne's show was hasty and definitely wasn't something I agreed with. But conservatives and Hollywood are always a bad mix. Roseanne was the only live-action sitcom I've actually watched week after week in a few years. I think it did a great job of examining current issues from a different perspective. Contrary to what some frothing SJW leftists might tell you, the Roseanne reboot looked at issues from both perspectives, which was a refreshing change, and I have to agree with Mundane Matt when he said that an opportunity was wasted with this cancellation. Now, let's look at this tweet from James Gunn in wake of the cancellation. Quote, I wish these so-called defenders of liberty would start to understand what freedom of speech is and isn't. Roseanne is allowed to say whatever she wants. It doesn't mean that at ABC Network need to continue funding her TV show if her words are considered abhorrent. Well, it looks like karma came to kick Gunn in the ass. Full disclosure, I am, or perhaps was, a big fan of Gunn's work. Slither is one of my favorite horror comedy films. I think the 2004 Dawn of the Dead remake is one of the best, perhaps the best, horror remake I've ever seen. And I think the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies may be the best entries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But for now, this is beside the point. So as I said, some rather questionable tweets from a few years ago were uncovered, which included just about every type of offensive remark you could think of. It takes a lot to offend me, and I mean a lot, but I draw the line at things like animal abuse, and pedophilia. And well, disgusting barely begins to describe some of the pedophilic tweets that were uncovered. I'm not going to read any of them here, but a quick Google search will probably enlighten you. Here's an image of just a few of them. After these tweets were uncovered, Disney fired Gunn, who was to direct the third installment of Guardians of the Galaxy. As we know, Disney also owns ABC, which canceled Roseanne a few months ago. Many people who were angry over the Roseanne cancellation saw this as ironic justice. If you didn't know, Gunn was a typical far-left Hollywood agitator. At least, he has been since being hired by Marvel to direct the first Guardians movie. In fact, he seemed to switch from twisted humor to full-on SJW tweets. Just before the tweets were made public, Gunn got involved in the Mark Duplass controversy after his endorsement of conservative commentator Ben Shapiro. As we can see here, Gunn states that even Shapiro's mother should unfollow him, and that there are a lot of, quote, traitors and racists in the country today. It seems to have been this tweet that set off the firestorm. Following this, it seems that many famous leftists have begun combing their Twitter accounts for any past indiscretions, including this person. Why do I think that many of these leftist elites that pursue social justice and third-wave feminism to such an obsessive degree are doing so out of guilt for things that they have done or said in the past? What would Freud say about this? Ryan Johnson, what kind of dark secrets are you hiding, sir? Then there was this story about Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon. Why? Just why? As much as I love Community and Rick and Morty, this is just sick. It should also be known that Harmon has, in the past, referred to 1/3 of the US as Nazis. The question I'm getting at here is, should Gunn have been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3? No. Just like Roseanne should not have been cancelled. It's no secret that I'm not a fan of social justice warriors and third-wave feminists. They actively seek to destroy the lives and careers of those they do not agree with. These people find everything offensive. In the case of Roseanne Barr and James Gunn, yes, what they said was offensive, unequivocally, although I think the nature and volume of Gunn's offense was far more severe. Anti-SJWs everywhere were applauding Gunn's firing as an example of karmic justice. But is it, though? If we support somebody getting fired as revenge, does that not put us on the same level as social justice warriors? In the larger context, it seems that the most recent of these tweets was 6 years ago, and Gunn seems to have cleaned up his act. But then, why did he leave these tweets up for all these years? Was it vanity or stupidity? Probably a bit of both. Regardless, I won't be able to look at his movies the same way again. But there isn't any evidence that he actually did any of the things he made jokes about. Many people, including myself, disagree with most of what Gunn has said in recent years, but we can't be the type of people that aim to destroy those we disagree with. Then we would be no different than the people we criticize. We don't want to sink to their level. Freedom of speech is still freedom of speech. I wholeheartedly support argument, debate, and criticism. I don't support censorship, regardless of how depraved the offending party may be, and regardless of whether or not I agree with them. We fight SJWs. We don't want to become them. And that's it for today. So as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a good day.